Hello, my dear friends, and welcome back. We are moving on with the third installment of our chakra exploration series, and today we're going to be focusing on the Manipura chakra, also known as the solar plexus chakra. So, as you can imagine, it governs the area of the body around the navel, which means our digestive tract, our bellies, our abdominals, kidneys, our adrenal glands. And just a little recap and a little bit of synthesis from the previous two classes. So the first round, the first chakra we did was the Muladhara chakra, the root chakra. And that really gave us the foundation for our practice, right? It allowed us to become embodied. It deals on the more material, inert movement sort of realm. And then we moved in to our last practice surrounding the Svadhisthana chakra, or the sacral chakra. And that brought us into this theme of polarities. So about, between matter and consciousness, and the Svadhisthana chakra, as our consciousness is also the seat of our emotions, our feelings, our desires. So now we're going to take those polarities and make them into this beautiful sort of triangle. And again, I'm getting a lot of this information from this wonderful book, Chakra Yoga by Anadia Judith. It's a great resource if you are interested in learning more. But when we bring the polarities of matter and consciousness and we crown it with energy, we start to get what we call the gunas. And the gunas, as it relates to Ayurveda, we would call them doshas, and it's just how these three different things can interact with each other. So specifically between matter and consciousness and energy, and matter as it relates to the doshas would be kapha, consciousness, vata, and energy would be pitta. So we're just going to be playing around with these three different dynamics today. And so what we think about specifically in the Manipura chakra, we think about the fire within the body, right? We often think of digestion as being a fiery process. And what do we know about fire, the element itself, right? It can be as anything from as weak to a little candle flame, right? Or a matchstick, or as powerful as some of the forest fires we've been seeing in the past few years. So finding this balance of energy, right? Because if we have too much energy going into our practice, maybe we are more likely to injure ourselves. If we don't have enough energy, then, we'll just be dragging through the whole process. So again, just coming back to this idea of balance, especially now that we have this beautiful trine, and it's not just a balancing side to side, but finding how we can balance all these different aspects. So this is also the seat of our personal power. Like I said before, it's what motivates us. So we got grounded in the first class. We discovered our consciousness and our desires in the second class, and now we're ready to put that into action. So just before we get started, there is another bandha, another hold associated with the solar plexus, and it's called the Uddiyana bandha. And I'm not going to incorporate it into our practice because it's not one of my favorites personally, because you are holding the breath a little bit. But for those of you that are interested in trying it, because it will give you very almost immediate effects after just doing 3 rounds of this hold. But I don't recommend it for those of you who may be pregnant, have high blood pressure, or any heart issues in general. If you have headaches and any sort of stomach conditions. The book even says menstruation, but I guess maybe if you have some intense menstruation issues, maybe not to try it. So if you would like to try this bandha out with me, we'll jump into that right now, and then we'll head over into our practice. But essential oils for the Manipura chakra, we've got cedarwood, lemon, eucalyptus, grapefruit, juniper, peppermint, marjoram, and cinnamon. So it's a very, very energizing blend. So jumping right into this bandha, you will want to be standing. So coming into mountain, feet about hip distance, maybe even a little bit wider, because we're going to take a soft bend to the knees. We're going to place our hands on the top of the thighs. We're going to slightly round the back. So I'm not pulling my abs in yet, but I am allowing the back to be slightly rounded, which is going to create sort of a concave position of the belly here. So we're going to take a nice deep breath in, really allow the inhale to expand on your lungs and through the chest. And as we take the exhale, we're going to be breathing out, pulling the navel into the spine as much as you can. We're going to hold on that exhale just for a moment to expand through the heart. And I'm going to do this to the side so you can kind of see. So coming into maybe just a little bit wider in mountain, soften into the knees, hands on the legs, slightly round the back. Maybe just take a breath or two in this position, just to allow yourself to catch up. So big exhale, and we're going to take a deep breath in, expand the chest. Exhale, navel to the spine. Hold. Big inhale to stand. And release. So when we're holding the breath, we really exhale, squeezing the belly in. And then it's just a very subtle lift and expansion of the chest while you're holding the breath. And then a big inhale, root into the feet to rise. We're going to do that 2 more times. So coming down, take a big breath in and out. Big inhale. One more time. Coming down, soften, take a breath or 2 if you need it. Inhale, expand the chest. Exhale, navel to the spine. Lift the heart. Inhale to stand. Here we go. So even just doing those 3 rounds, you are going to feel it maybe in like 20 minutes or so. You really start to feel it in the abdominals themselves. And it is beneficial in many ways because who doesn't love like a quick and easy ab exercise? But because you are holding the breath, it can be a little bit dangerous for people with high or low blood pressure. And you don't want to do it maybe more than 3 times, especially if you're new to it. Maybe start with 1 round, work your way up to 2, and then possibly 3. So just another little thing to sort of engage and start to build some fire into that area. But like I said, we're not going to use that in the practice today. And we're going to hop right into it and just make sure that you have a couple at the top of the mat, no strap today, and let's go ahead and get started. Okay, my friends, I'm going to have you join me in your most comfortable seated position, whatever that looks like for you today, whether you want to be sitting flat on the mat, up on a block or a pillow. Whatever it is, we're just going to shift our weight around. Just may create a little bit of movement through the spine. Maybe pump out the belly a few times, especially if you joined me in the Uddiyana Bandha breath that we were doing, just so we can start to soften this area, but bring a little bit of awareness to it as well. Remember, name of the game today is taking consciousness and matter, or our bodies, and energy, and bringing that all together to work with us through the practice today. So once you've found your center and a little bit of movement, bring yourself to stillness, roll the shoulders down and back, allow the spine to be tall, and the chin to tuck very gently in toward the chest. You can begin to soften or close the eyes. Just take a few rounds of clearing breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. And then find your natural rhythm. And just begin to settle yourself within the body. I want you to think about your connection to the mat or to whatever it is that you're sitting on. Where you feel that groundedness, where you feel your roots reaching down into the earth, stabilizing you and supporting you. thinking about how the body feels. So allowing your awareness, your consciousness to begin scanning up and down and exploring maybe any areas of tightness. And then we're going to slowly begin to build upon the breath. So deepening on your inhales and extending nice and long on the exhales. Each round of breath just a count or two longer than the previous one. And we'll take 3 more rounds. And gently start to connect again with your natural breath. Relax into the body, the shoulders, the hips, the belly. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, slowly lower your chin to your chest. Keep your shoulders relaxed. Just hanging the head down. You can slowly begin to flutter open the eyes, allowing them to adjust to the light. Using an inhale, bring your head to center and breathe out. So we are going to be doing a new technique of breath, the Kalabate breath, the breath of fire, and it's going to really start to warm us up because we're going to be jumping right into this practice. The last couple of practices we started supine on the back, took things really slow and easy. And, today we're just going to fuel the fire and, run with it. Well, not run with it, but at least go on a nice, easy jog. So come to your most upright position, and you do want to be probably seated on the floor. But if it's better on your back or your hips to be up on a block, that's fine. But I recommend if you are able to come down onto the floor just to keep yourself grounded, you can do that now. And we're going to take a hand to the belly. And the Kalabate breath seems complicated, but it's actually very easy. And it's done with a succession of very fast exhales. As you exhale the breath over and over, quick, 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 it's automatically going to draw more air in. The trickiest part is getting started, and that's why I'm going to have you start with your hand on the belly to kind of feel the pulse and the rhythm of the body as we do this. So go ahead, just relax. Breathe, feel the breath moving in your belly. We're going to take a deep breath in, and we're going to start those quick exhales. So breathing in. keep it going. Begin to slow it down. And eventually come back to your breath. Breathe in deeply and out. So you should have started to feel just a little bit of heat and warmth building in the belly. And it does take some practice to kind of get used to it. So if you didn't get the hang of it this first time, don't fear. In time, it does get a bit easier. So we're just going to start some movement through the spine here, just moving the hips back and forth, maybe doing a few circles with the chest. The other thing we want to keep in mind as we move throughout the practice today, because it does feature the stomach area, the solar plexus, we will be doing a lot of core exercises. And I just want to go ahead and remind you that there are more than one section to the core. We have more than just our abdominals, which are a very important part. We also have the muscles of the back that help support those abdominals in the front. We have the obliques that cross over. We have our, oh my gosh, the quad, I don't remember the name. We have our side body muscles that allow for that lateral extending and bending. Then we also have that corset muscle, the transverse abdominis, that wraps around everything. So the name of the game today is really bringing that all together to work with us. And remember that even though the solar plexus chakra is not the center chakra, that's the heart chakra, which we'll be doing next week, it is the center of the body where we can find extension down and up simultaneously. So when we come into some of these lengthening postures later, I want you to think about the lengthening not just through the crown of the head upward, but also backward as you ground yourself down. So we're going to extend the legs right out in front of us. Now that you've got a little bit of movement into the spine, go ahead and shake out the legs, give them a little bit of a wiggle, and then pull any flesh of the bottom back so that you're tilting forward. And we're going to start by drawing in the right foot. Now you can keep your right foot to the inside or the outside of that left knee. We're going to set up for a twist. So keep that left foot flexed. We're going to breathe in, tall spine. Exhale, twisting to the right, hug the knee into the chest with your left arm. Allow that right hip to slide back. Breathe in again. Exhale, twist. If it's within your practice to lift that left arm, bring the elbow to the outer knee. That's going to activate into the belly, squeezing those muscles. One more inhale here. And then exhale nice and slow back through center. Go ahead, stretch out that right leg. And we'll draw the left foot in, inside or outside of the knee. Flex the right foot. Inhale, grow tall. Exhale, hug the knee with the right arm as we twist to the left. Allow that left hip to slide back. Remember, we always take a few rounds of breath to deepen into the twist. Elbow can come to the outside of the knee. One more breath in. And exhale through center. Stretch out both legs. We're going to take one fold. So maybe a soft bend to the knees. Arms come out and up. Inhale. Exhale, extend yourself forward and soften right down over the legs. Nice soft knees here. We're not dropping the head, but you can rest the belly on the thighs and start to extend your nose toward the toes. Deepen the flex into the feet so you begin to feel the stretch come in to the calves. We will be deepening into this fold. This is going to be our big initial hamstring stretch here, so ease your way into it. Keeping those feet flexed, you might have to shift the hips back to begin softening the knees closer to the mat. The legs don't have to be completely straight. We want to bring that stretch up the legs into the hamstrings and the low back as well. Chin is lifted from the chest. Work with the breath. Your next breath in, look to the toes. Exhale, extend the arms forward. Inhale, reach the arms up, flat back to lift. And exhale, hands to the heart. Go ahead and bend your knees, and we're going to come into our half boat position. We're going to be doing a few variations of boat here. I want you to start with the knees bent, feet flat on the floor. We're going to bring the arms out to the side. Nice tall spine, so feel the belly just gently pulling in. And hold here for a moment. We're not leaning back just yet. I want you to roll the shoulders up to the ears, and then exhale. Slide them down the back to open the chest, and that's going to bring your arms out just a little bit wider than perhaps you normally would. Keeping that shoulder girdle open, the heart open, you can start to squeeze the arms in toward the center. Take a breath in. Exhale, we're going to start leaning back. The moment you feel that middle part of your spine start to slouch is when you need to come back up and start again. So we want to keep that extension of the spine. Think about that tailbone rooting down. Holding here. Remember to breathe. Keep leaning back. On an inhale, we're going to raise the arms. If this is too much, you can bring them down. Hold for another breath. Breathe in. Exhale, arms down. Breathe in, lift up. And exhale, soften yourself and round forward. Come back up to a neutral position. This time we're going to come onto our heels with the toes pointing to the sky. We're going to be lifting one leg at a time because we're going to be incorporating a twist. So normally with boat, we would come back and do a little bit of, I think they call these Russian twists side to side. We usually hold them in my yoga classes. Today we're going to be coming up. Sorry, how did I want my arms? Not like that. So we're going to be coming back. And as we twist to the side, we're going to lift that leg. And we'll come back to the center, twisting, lifting that leg. Then we're going to be doing the opposite way. So we're going to be doing a few rounds of that. We're going to hold, and then we're going to twist the opposite way, lift the opposite leg. And then we'll come up for a breath, and we'll have both the legs lifted. So start with your heels on the mat, toes pointed up, nice long spine. We're going to bring the hands to the heart. You can have your hands clasped, whatever's going to be comfortable, but don't grip into the fingers. We want all that tension to be in the belly. So breathe in. Exhale, start leaning back. You don't have to go back too far. This is going to be a little bit trickier this time. Take a breath in here. Exhale, we're going to twist to the left and lift that left foot. The twist is coming from the navel. Don't pull your shoulders too far to the side. We want to keep the heart open. Breathe in. Exhale to center. Keep leaning back. Breathe in. Exhale, twisting to the right, lifting that right foot. Hold and breathe. Breathe in. Exhale to center. We're going to do that one more time, and we're going to do the next variation. Breathe in. Exhale, twist left, left foot lifts. Hold and breathe. Inhale. Exhale to center. Inhale. Exhale, twist right, right foot lifts. Remember, we're twisting from the navel. Don't wrench your shoulders. Breathe in. Exhale, untwist. Inhale, come up. Exhale, soften forward, breathe. So we'll be coming into that next variation. This time we're going to be twisting and lifting the opposite foot. Allow your belly to be soft. Allow those muscles of the back to stretch out. We may feel that the abs are doing a lot of the work here, but these back muscles are also really doing a lot to keep us supported and balanced. So that's why it's so important to keep engagement of all of the core so we don't strain any one side. All right, getting ready, hands to the heart. Exhale, we're gonna start leaning back. Feel that engagement, nice long spine. Again, you don't have to come back too far here. Find an inhale. Exhale, twist to the left. This time we lift the right foot. You might find that you're not gonna twist quite as far, and that's fine. Again, shoulders stay open, chest is open, twisting at the belly. Breathe in. Exhale to center foot down. Inhale. Exhale, twist right, left foot lifts. Inhale. Exhale to center. One more time on each side. Breathe in. Exhale, twist left, right foot lifts. Inhale. Exhale, untwist. Breathe in. Exhale, twist right, left foot lifts. Breathe in. Exhale, untwist. Breathe in, lift up. Exhale, soften forward. Relax, breathe. So hopefully you are starting to feel that heat, that fire really starting to burn in the belly. So I am going to have us lifting our legs this time, and we're just going to be holding boat with the legs lifted. I did say not to use a strap today, or that we wouldn't be using one, but if you do have a strap and you'd like to use it around the balls of the feet to help you stabilize yourself, or if you're feeling a little shaky and you don't want to lift the feet, that's perfectly fine. We'll come to our half boat position. If you're lifting the feet, toes to the sky, heels on the mat, arms out to the side this time. Breathe in. Exhale, leaning back. I like to keep my legs squeezing together. If you like to keep them apart, that's totally up to you. Slide the heels back and lift the feet, bringing the calves somewhat parallel to the floor. Feet are flexed. I'm also pushing my feet in together. You want to make it a little challenging, begin to create some space between your thighs and your belly. A little less challenging, we start to bring them closer together. This is also a fun little movement we can do. A little pulsing. I'm not going to do it right now. Heart is lifting. A couple more breaths here. Breathe through it. Inhale. Exhale, feet down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, soften. We haven't even stood up yet, and I'm breaking a sweat. Hopefully that's the same for you. So now we're going to allow some length to come into the front of the body. Go ahead and extend the legs. We're going to bring the hands back to frame the hips, roll the shoulders down and back, point the toes. Grip the fingertips into the mat. We're coming up into a reverse plank. Don't lock the elbows. On an inhale, we're going to squeeze gently into the bum, the glutes, to lift the hips toward the ceiling. You might just hover here. This is a bit of an upper body workout. Or you can start to bring the toes closer to the mat. Belly still pulling downward but not clenching, because we do want a nice stretch down that front of the body. Don't drop your head back. Breathe. Breathe in. And then exhale nice and slow, use control. Bring the bum back down to the mat and shake out the hands. Go ahead, bend the feet, or bend the knees. We're gonna come up into a reverse table. So feet are about hip distance. You can scoot the toes forward a little bit here, and you can turn the fingertips out to the side a little bit. Take a few breaths. And same idea here. On an inhale, gently squeeze the bum. Start lifting the hips. Bring into a nice little reverse tabletop position. Feel the belly pulling in. Wrists under the shoulders. Knees over the ankles. Not dropping the head back. Breathe in. Exhale nice and slow. Lower it down. And shake out the hands. So we're going to be coming on to hands and knees and table, a regular table. And we will be going through a few variations of plank, so we're going to stretch out the wrists a few different ways today. So just coming into table first. And we're going to just circle up and around the hands a few times. As we begin to move the position of the hands to do these circles, I really want you to just kind of allow your awareness, your consciousness to explore how the sensation changes through the hands themselves and up into the forearms, maybe even into the shoulders. So we're going to turn the fingertips out to the long edges of the mat, wrists to the center line, and just gently circling around. These are gentle movements. I'm not pressing my hands into the floor. And we're going to turn our fingertips to the center line of the mat, the wrists to the long edges. Just again noticing where the sensation, where the stretch may change as the position changes. And then this one's a little bit awkward. You can do one hand at a time, but we're going to turn fingertips around to face the knees, wrists forward, and just very gentle here, pressing around. And then when we bring our hands back to neutral, we're going to come to the top of the hands. And again, you can do one hand at a time, just gently circling around and reversing all of that stretching we just did. We'll end by giving the hands a nice good shake, coming back into table. Inhale, extend the belly, the heart forward into cow. Exhale, navel to the spine into cat. 4 more rounds. One more time, inhale. And exhale. Inhale, come back through table. We're going to step our feet back into a high plank. So just make sure your shoulders are over the wrists. Gently gripping the mat with your fingertips. Feel the navel pulling up and in, looking forward. Legs strong, pushing back through the heels. We're going to hold here. If at any point this gets really intense, you can bring the knees down. Just make sure the hips are forward and that belly is still pulling in. Tailbone is lengthening down toward that bottom part of the mat. So from here, we are going to be coming into a side plank. If you want to take a modified position, lower your right knee to the mat, turning your left foot parallel to the short side, and then inhale, hips press to that long edge as the left hand lifts. Again, we want to make sure that belly's tucking in, the tailbone is long. For those of you that want to come into a full side plank, from the high plank position, we'll roll to the outer edge of the right foot, stacking the left foot in front, and either bring that left hand to the hip, pressing the hips up, or arm extending to the ceiling. Try to activate or at least become conscious of all parts of the core. Breathe in. Exhale, left hand comes down. We'll all meet in table, so drop the knees. Shake out the hands. Maybe roll the wrists around if that feels good. Back in table, inhale through cow. Exhale to cat. We're going to move into doing that on the left side. So stepping back to that high plank, we are going to take several breaths here. Activating the body. Again, we can bring the knees down at any time. Just make sure that belly's still pulling up and in. And then from that high plank position, we can either lower that left knee, turning the right foot parallel to the short side of the mat. Inhale, right hand up, hips pressing forward or toward that long edge of the mat. Still finding that engagement of the core here. Or if we come into a full side plank, you roll to the outer edge of the left foot, stacking the right foot in front. Right hand to the hip or extending upward. Find your breath. Breathing in and exhale, right hand down, plank, and lower the knees coming into table. Shake out the hands, move the wrists, any sort of stretch you may need for the wrists. Just gently stretching around. Coming into table, inhale through cow. And exhale to cat. Inhale through table. So we're going to come up to stand on the knees for a moment here. And if you're practicing on a hard floor, I highly recommend you just take your mat, fold it over so you get a little bit of extra cushion under the knees. You can also use a blanket or a towel. We're going to come up to having our hands on the hips here. And again, I want you to think about pressing your hips forward just like I cued you in the side plank. Pressing them forward is going to lengthen the tailbone down and pull the navel in, so you're not trying to do as much work sucking everything in. So we'll start with the hands to the hips. And we're going to extend the left leg, I'm not mirroring you, out to the side. So just take a moment to look down. Make sure that right hip is stacking over the knee, which means you might have to extend that left foot out or bring it back in just a little bit for gate. So as we come into gate, again, I want you to think about extension here, activating all sides of the core, and then also feeling a nice big stretch on the right side body. So left hand to the side of the left leg. Inhale, right arm reaches out and up. And then exhale, travel, guiding that left hand down the leg to find extension up through that right side body. We want to avoid collapsing into this left side body, so make sure you're extending up to the side and not just over. On an inhale, use the strength of your core here. We're going to lift both hands into the air. Exhale, right hand comes down to the mat under the shoulder. We're stacking that left arm over the ear. So now we're finding this big extension up through this left side. Still pressing those hips forward. I want you to engage your right glute, not clenching, a gentle squeeze. We're going to lift that left leg and engage the left glute to find this really strong outer hip. Reach those left fingertips. You can flex the left foot, pressing the heel back. Breathe in. Exhale, foot down. Use the core as we inhale, both arms up. Exhale, hands to the heart, knees together. Breathe in. And out. Breathe in and out. Hands to the hips. We're going to extend the right leg out to the side. Just take a peek down. Make sure the hip is stacking over the knee, not pressing out, not pulling in. You might have to adjust that right leg. Right hand starts to travel down that right side. Left arm to the side. On an inhale, we'll reach it up. And exhale, a lift up and over. So again, we're not collapsing into that right side body, but staying nice and long to find that extension. Try to keep that hip stacking over the knee as well. It's easy to pull the whole body to the side. Using the core, inhale, lifting both hands up. And exhale, left hand comes down under the shoulder. Right arm is stacking over the ear as we find that nice long right side body. Engage the left glute. Lift the right leg, engage the right glute. Remember, our hips are still pressing forward. Flex that Right foot, reach the fingertips to the side, breathe. Breathe in. Exhale, right foot down. Inhale, both arms reach up. Exhale, hands to the heart, knees together. Breathe. And we're going to make our way back into a tabletop position. Make sure those blocks are available to you at the top of the mat. I have to make a slight adjustment here. In table, inhale through cow. Exhale to cat. Once again, inhale. And exhale. Inhale, come back through table, tuck the toes. Walk the hands a step or two in front, breathe in. Exhale, downward facing dog. You can pedal out the feet. Shake out the head, move the hips around. Feel the extension upward through the tailbone, the belly pressing toward the thighs. And then we'll find stillness. We're going to take a few breaths here. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, we're going to walk to the top of the mat and fold down over the feet. Really let the upper body go. Soften the knees. You can grab opposite elbows here and just sway gently from side to side. Find stillness, release the arms. Inhale, lifting halfway. And exhale to fold. We're going to roll up to stand. Ground the feet down. Keep the upper body loose and hanging. As we start our deep inhale, begin to straighten the legs. And then begin rolling up through the spine. Arms come out and up, look up. Exhale, hands to the heart. 3 breaths, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Release the hands. We'll step to mountain at the top of the mat. Lift and spread the toes. Neutralize the pelvis, long spine, shoulders down and back. Engage the legs as though we're trying to pull the feet away from each other. Feel the strength that we're already building within our bellies, our core, and that extension upward through the crown of the head. Breathe in and exhale to soften. Inhale, arms reach out and up. Exhale, swan dive forward over the feet, flat back as we fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale to fold. Framing the right foot. Inhale, left foot takes a big step back for our runner's lunge. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, sealing the left foot parallel to the short side of the mat. Press the hips to the long edge. We're going to swing up to warrior 2, or bring your hands to the right thigh and lift up from there. So inhale as we lift the torso. Exhale, soften the shoulders. Take a peek down at the legs. I need to heel my foot out to the edge. We want to make sure the heels are about on the same line of the mat. knee is stacking over the ankle, and we're pressing just as much into that back foot as the front foot here. Avoid reaching forward, but keep a nice straight column of the spine. And this is where I want you to think about all of those parts of the abdominal, or of the core, and also that extension, right? So from the navel, we can root down. We've been practicing that a lot if you've been in this series with me. But we also want to find this lift up, which we're going to be exploring in future classes. Breathing. Breathe in. Exhale, reverse warrior, left hand to the left leg, right hand reaches up. Just like in gate, you want to make sure you're lengthening upward on both sides. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale. Breathe in. Exhale, right elbow to the right knee. Inhale, left hand reaching up. Maybe even stacking the arm over the ear, fingertips reaching toward the top of the mat. Just try not to sink into your right shoulder. Keep those legs nice and strong. Belly engaged. Inhale, back to warrior two. Inhale, straighten that right leg. And we're going to set up for triangle. So you can take a block to the inside of your ankle if that's if that will be easier for you to reach. On an inhale, right hand reaches forward, left hip reaching back. And then exhale, right hand comes down to that block on the inside of the ankle. You can also rest your hand gently on the top of your ankle. And before we even worry about lifting that left hand up, we're going to bring the hand to the hip. Lengthening the tailbone back, pulling the belly in, making sure we're long underneath as well as on top of the side body. And if you feel that left shoulder is rounding forward toward the floor, roll it down and back, really opening up the heart here, and then find that extension, reaching left fingertips to the ceiling. You can keep a soft bend to the front knee, but if the leg is straight, make sure the quad is nice and strong. Breathe in. Exhale, we're going to bring that left hand down, soft bend to that right knee. We're going to come right into a runner's lunge. Hop your left foot in a step or two, and we're going to start to ground that left heel. So your foot should be pointing in, everyone likes to say a 45-degree angle as we set up for warrior one, but just making sure that it's not parallel to the short side and it's not facing straight in front. So somewhere in the middle, stacking that right knee over the ankle. As we come up, you can have your left heel lifted, and we're going to ground it back down. Really power up the glutes. Engage the belly on an inhale, either bringing hands to the right thigh to lift or reaching the arms forward to lift the torso, grounding that left heel as you come up. Exhale, soften the shoulders. Lengthen the tailbone, pull the belly in, hips will press forward. Nice open heart. Inhale, come high on those left toes. Exhale, step forward. Breathe in, mountain. And then exhale, squatting to chair. Keep the belly pulling in as you shift the weight in the heels. Make sure if you're looking down, the knees are not going past the toes. Then you can look forward, bringing the hands to the heart. This is going to be a little bit of a tricky transition. So if you don't have a block available to you at the top of the mat, go ahead, reach down and just make sure it's right here in the center in front of the feet, or actually in front of the right foot, I'm sorry. We're going to be coming into half moon. But first we're going to do a nice little twist and chair. So on an inhale, come up to stand. Release those quad muscles. Breathe in. Exhale, squat back to chair. Tailbone is long, belly is pulling in. Breathe in here. Exhale, we're going to come into a twist, either bringing the right hand to the knee, left hand to the hip, or keeping the hands in prayer on the outside of that left knee, looking to the side. We're going to be moving right into half moon from here. This is a very tricky transition, so to go nice and slow. Keep the twist, look down towards your feet. Release the arms. Right hand will come to that block in front of the right foot, left hand to the hip. We're going to slowly start to extend that left leg back and to the side. Ooh, you can also get rid of the block. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. Toes are pointing out to that long edge of the mat, hips pressing forward. Left hand can lift. If this seems way too complicated for you, I'm going to give you an alternative here in just a moment. So I'm going to slowly come back down, nice and slow, back to my chair position. So if you didn't follow that at all, here we are in chair. I'm going to take a modified version. I'm going to take the block and then slowly just begin reaching the foot back. We don't have to lift the arm. You can even just practice lifting that left foot. If you're still working on half moon, for those of you still holding it right now, I applaud you. For everyone else, nice and slow, bring that left foot back to meet the right. Squat back down to chair, hands to the heart. Inhale up to stand, reach the arms up. And exhale, hands to the heart. Breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth 3 times. The hands, shake out the legs. Now that is a really tricky transition. We started on the right leg, which is mostly everybody's dominant leg. So as we move into the left side, I'm just going to demonstrate that for you one more time in case you're completely lost. I'm going to demonstrate it to you on my right side again. We have the block here available. We're squatting down to chair. We're taking a twist. We're holding in the twist here. And then when we get ready for the transition, we look down. Hand comes to the block, hand comes to the hip. And as we open to the side, we start to extend, straighten that right leg, and lift the left foot behind us. Toes are pointing out to that long edge of the mat. And again, maybe we just lift that left leg. The key here is to make sure that right leg is nice and strong and supportive, but it's also getting a lot of support from the core here. And as we come down, left foot forward, coming back to chair and up to stand. Probably should have demonstrated that before we went into it, but sometimes it's good just to jump right in. That's the name of the practice today, right? Finding some fire. I'm going to switch sides of my mat, so come back into mountain, take a few rounds of breath. Make sure a block is available at the top of the mat. We're going to move right into the other side. Connect with yourself and breathe. Inhale, arms reach out and up. Exhale, swan dive forward over the feet, folding down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fold. We're going to frame that left foot. Inhale, right foot steps back, runner's lunge. Take another breath in, look forward. Exhale, seal that right foot parallel to the short side of the mat. We're pressing our hips to that long edge. We're swinging up to warrior 2. So inhale as we lift up. Knees stacking over the ankle, pressing into that back foot. And again, I want you to think about this center here where we can really root down and rise up all at the same time. Relax the shoulders. Breathe in. Exhale, reverse warrior, left hand up, right hand down. Inhale, warrior two. Breathe in. Exhale, left elbow to the knee. Right hand lifts. Maybe we stack the arm over the ear, extending the fingertips forward. Again, try not to sink into that left shoulder here. Strong legs here as we inhale back to warrior two. And exhale, straighten that left leg. Block to the inner ankle for triangle. Inhale, left fingers reach forward, right hip juts out to the side. Exhale, hand comes down to the block, the floor, maybe gentle grab to the top of the shin or the ankle here. And before we lift that right arm, hand to the hip to pull the belly in, lengthen the tailbone back. Think about extending underneath as well as on top. And then rolling that right shoulder down and back to open the heart, and then lifting that right arm. If you don't have a soft bend to that left knee, make sure that quad is very strong. Take a breath in. On an exhale, we're going to bring that right hand down, soften into that left knee, and gently move into a runner's lunge. You're going to hop the right foot in. And then again, not having those right toes exactly straight, but turning that heel in maybe to that 45-degree angle or so. And you can keep the heel lifted as we get ready to come up. Even out your hips. Think about really strong legs here. We're either going to rise up with hands to that left thigh, or inhale, extend the arms forward, lifting the torso. Right heel grounds, squaring those hips off, lengthen the tailbone down, hip bones press forward, arms to frame the ears. Knee is stacking over the ankle. Breathe. Inhale, come high on those right toes. Exhale, step that right foot forward, hands meet overhead. And then exhale, squatting right down to chair. So weight is shifting into the heels. Look down, make sure the knees are not pressing past the toes. Belly is pulling in, tailbone is lengthening down. Then look forward. Before we twist, we'll come up to stand. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands to the heart. Take a breath. And moving forward, take a breath in, reach the arms up. Exhale, squatting back to chair, hands coming back into the heart. Make sure you're aligned, engaging through the core. Breathe in. Exhale, twisting to the right. So either bring the elbows to the outside of that right knee looking to the side, or left hand to the right knee, right hand to the hip. Keep the twist. Slowly look down towards the feet. Shifting weight into that left foot, hand to the left hand to the block, right hand to the hip. Powering up that left leg as we start to lift the right to the side, toes facing that long edge of the mat. Hips pressing forward. Feel the strength of the core here. Again, we can always just do those little toe taps if this is looking a little bit out of your range today. You can always come into it more than once. Breathe in. Exhale slowly. We're going to bring that right foot back to meet the left. Hands back to the heart to chair. Belly tucking in. Breathe in. Come up to stand. And exhale, hands to the heart. 3 breaths, in through the nose, out through the mouth. And release. I'm going to move back to the other side of my mat, and we're going to get ready to wind down here. So again, just coming into mountain. Inhale, arms reach out and up. Exhale, swan dive forward over the feet, folding down. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale to fold. Plant both hands and step both feet back to a high plank. We're almost done. We're going to end with a few things on the belly before we wind down on our backs. Breathe here in plank, nice and strong, belly pulling up and in. And we're going to be lowering all the way down. So you can go ahead and drop the knees, keeping the elbows tight to the body. Lower the chest and extend the legs back. So we're going to end with some variations of locust. So walk your hip bones back just a little bit because there's a little bit of extra space here in the spine we can create. And we're going to bring the hands reaching back toward the toes, gazing down at the mat. We're only going to be lifting the upper body and the hands. So keep your feet grounded on the mat. You can start to engage the quads. Press your hips down. That's going to slightly engage your glutes. Feel the belly engage. Toes pressing down. On an inhale, we're going to lift the upper body. Shoulders reaching away from the ears. Fingertips reaching back. Breathe in. And exhale, soften down. Bend the knees. And drop the feet from side to side. And extend the legs. This time we're going to have the arms reaching forward. I'm really long. I have really long limbs, so I'm falling off my mat here. I'm sorry if I've gotten out of range. But we're going to be lifting the legs, the chest, and the arms. So take a moment to find extension through the spine and start to press your hip bones down, engaging the belly by pulling the navel up and in. Gently firm up the glutes. On the inhale, we're going to start with the feet. So lifting the feet, then the heart, and the chest. Think about extension between the toes and the fingers, not so much as a big lift here. Breathe in, and exhale, gently lower down. You can bend the knees. And drop the feet from side to side. One more variation in bow. So we're going to bend the knees, bring the feet toward the bum. Reach the hands back for the feet, grasping the insides of the feet. We're going to activate the feet first. So pressing out through the balls of the feet. We're not quite flexing deeply, but really pressing out through the balls of the feet here. And again, we're grabbing the inside of the foot. Start to power up the belly, pressing the hip bones down. On an inhale, we're going to lift, kicking the feet up into the hands, pulling the heart forward. Glutes are gently engaged, not clenching. Breathe in, exhale, lower the legs down, keep the knees bent, arms forward, and drop your feet from side to side. This just helps alleviate any tension in the low back. And then extend the legs back. And we're going to roll over right onto our backs here. Nice and slow. Be gentle with yourself. Keep the knees bent. Make sure your shoulders tucking underneath. We're gonna bring the knees together and heel toe the feet out to the long edges of the mat. And just make sure you can feel that whole wide, flat sacral area of your back against the floor. So just take a slight tuck to the belly to really flatten the low back in. What we're doing is just applying a nice, easy, gentle, static stretch. Just in case you might be feeling any tension or tightness from those variations of locust in those low back muscles. We're also taking the opportunity here to connect with the breath again. So maybe even taking one hand on the belly and one hand to the heart. Wind down with a nice easy twist here. So allow your arms to open up to the side. And we're going to scoot our bums over to the right side of the mat and extend the left leg forward. Take your right foot and place it on top of the left knee. Breathe in here. And as we exhale, we're going to be twisting to the left. Keep your shoulders grounded so your right knee is going to extend over to the left side of your mat. Look to the right hand. That's going to help keep your right shoulder grounded down. And then just relax here. Your knee does not have to reach the floor. We're just allowing gravity to take over with the weight of that top leg. And if you'd like, you can take the left hand here to the outer right hip and just allow it to travel down the right leg. And everyone wants to pull their knee to the side to get it closer to the ground. But what we want to do here is find extension between that right shoulder and the right hip. So we're actually lengthening here, not lengthening out to the side. And it's just a very subtle stretch here. We're not really pulling on anything or forcing it. And then gently untwist. And we're going to scoot our bum over to the left side of the mat, extending the right leg. Left foot comes to the top of the right knee. Take a breath in here. Exhale into the twist. Left shoulder stays grounded. Left knee coming over to the right side. We can look to the left. And just release into the legs. Right hand again can come to this left leg here, traveling down to create that extension between the shoulder and the hip. Not forcing the knee to the floor. And inhale, move back through center. You can even out the hips. Bend the knees, plant the feet. We're going to do some pelvic tilts. We did this during our last class, but again, we're going to be exhaling, flattening the low back to the floor, tuck the belly in, and inhale, rolling forward on the tailbone to create that space between your back and the floor. And exhale to flatten. Inhale, rolling forward. And exhale. I'm going to do a few rounds of these, nice and slow. Gently extend the legs forward, tuck the shoulder blades underneath, and bring yourself into Shavasana. And take a few rounds of clearing breath. Palms facing the ceiling. And you can begin to soften or close your eyes. Allow the belly to relax and the spine to melt into the floor. Listen to your breath. And we're going to take 3 more rounds of that controlled deep breathing that we began our class with. So starting on the inhale, really expanding and drawing the breath into the body. And exhale. One more round. And I invite you to release your control of the breath completely. To surrender into your body, into stillness and softness. Allow all the heat we built up within the practice to just melt away. Gently allow your breath to deepen again, inviting your awareness back into your body. And a poem for you to end the practice. And it was weakness that dragged me down, slowly chipping away at motivation and purpose, until I felt as though I'd never move again. Feverish and exhausted, my own body betraying me, beginning to succumb to despair, doubt burning my insides. For where can I place my trust when the vessel that carries me feels so useless? Almost impossible to see beyond such crippling, nagging gloom, like a thick fog, voiding the safe and familiar. anguish sitting like a weight over my instinct, my intuition. And it was ego, carefully concealed in my lethargy, unrecognizable, veiled, forlorn, yet still driving my actions, keeping me down. And once accepted that it was me who has the control, the ability to choose, to stoke or dampen the fire, I also accepted the power, the sublime force of my own vitality. For what do I truly own, if not wisdom, in my identity? No longer possessed by my actions, but in possession of them, owning my decisions with sacred pride. The fire within, as constant as the beacon of Pharos, through drought and storm, a lustrous gem it glows. You can wiggle out through the toes and the fingers and rock your head gently from side to side. Using an inhale, reach and extend your arms up overhead. And exhale, relax and soften. Floating your knees into the chest, wrap the arms around the legs, give yourself a big squeeze. Thank your body for its material form. Thank your consciousness for the awareness of your practice. And thank the energy that resides within you, fueling you this day and every day. And whenever you're ready, rolling to one side and using an inhale to come up to your most comfortable seated position. Bring the hands to the heart. And we're going to end our practice with a round of Om. So take a deep breath in and exhale all the stale air. Big inhale for Om. Great work today, my friends. We will continue next time with the Anahata Heart Chakra. And I look forward to our next practice. Namaste.